The average person spends about 13 years in public school. At least in America, over half then head off to college, where they'll spend another 4 years. The whole idea is that this decade plus of education will prepare you for a career. But it doesn't. I'm Charles from Running on Fire, and about a year ago, I graduated with a computer science and business degree and started my career as a data analyst. And I was really surprised at how big of a transition it was. It just felt really different. I think there are 5 big reasons why. Difference number 1: personal excellence isn't group success. Maybe the biggest difference between college and your career is that your career is much more collaborative. College needs to assess whether you know something or not, so almost all of the work I did was on my own. As I got into more advanced classes, I did have a few collaborative projects, but even then, everybody got their own grades. But once you're in the workforce, it's not about whether you stand out or not. It's about whether your team gets the job done and gets it done well. So if you want to be successful, you need to be able to help your team become successful. Being able to communicate and lead others became way more important in my career than it ever was in college. And I'm still early in my career, but I think this trend only continues. The further along you go in your career, the more people you'll be in charge of. So don't neglect this skill. Difference number 2: the right answer or the best answer. Something else that took some getting used to is that once you're in your career, there might not be a right answer. In college, I was really used to creating something with one correct answer, because that made it really easy for professors to grade. But when I started my career, I realized that the English classes I had taken, where I had to write essays about my own interesting ideas, had actually prepared me for my job much better than the computer science classes I had taken. That's because if there's a known correct answer, then it isn't useful to pay you to find it. This is a huge difference between learning and creating. When you create, you have to make new things of value. And there's no right way to do things. You just have to find the best way. Difference number 3: you don't matter. Once I began my career, I realized I didn't matter. But before I get into that, I want to tell you about this video's partner, JobScan. So why did I partner with JobScan? Well, because JobScan felt like a partner to me when I was applying to jobs at college, and they helped me land the 6-figure job that I had immediately after graduation. JobScan scans your resume and helps you tailor it to a specific job position, which helped my resume stand out and get read by a real person, and probably saved me dozens of hours. And hey, if you're unconvinced, you can even do a few scans for free. So definitely check out the link in the description if you're applying for jobs. Again, I loved using the tool, and I think you will too. But anyway, in college, the focus is all on you. And it should be, because you could be paying tens of thousands of dollars for the privilege to participate. That means everything you do in school, including all of the homework assignments and exams, should be designed to help you learn and grow. All of that changes when you begin your career. It's not about whether you're learning something or not. It's about whether you're creating something of value. You don't matter. What you create matters. And that's not to say that companies don't value learning and won't give you opportunities to grow. Some companies do, and some companies don't. But either way, you need to add value. And that alone is a big transition. Reason number 4: flexibility versus rigidity. I absolutely loved my college schedule. Since college is all about your own learning and growth, it provides an extremely flexible environment. Not everyone I knew enjoyed this flexibility, but I added the structure I needed between classes, sports, and campus jobs. And the benefit was I could do any of my required work at the time I wanted to and at the pace I felt like. And this worked really well because I'm usually a fast worker. So if I wanted to have a free day, I could just get ahead on my assignments and then just relax. The only thing that mattered was the due date, which I never missed. Other times, I'd study with friends and work super slowly, or take lots of breaks and watch YouTube videos. That completely changed when I started my career, which was one of the hardest transitions for me. Once I started my career, the expectation was that I worked at least 8 hours a day, no matter what. There was no getting ahead or working at my own leisurely pace. I had to work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. I understand that companies need to be able to track hours, but this is a lot less fun for me. My brain is not designed for working 8 hours straight. And as I already mentioned, my career is much more collaborative than college. So even as some companies do try to become more flexible, it can be a real challenge when you have to interface with so many other people. So my work routine for my job feels a lot less natural, and it definitely took some getting used to. To be totally honest, I much preferred college. Reason number 5, finding motivation. Motivation is immensely important for me. The whole reason that I'm trying to reach financial freedom before I turn 30 years old is so that I can do what motivates and inspires me rather than have to work to survive. In college, I was extremely motivated. I knew I only had so much time to learn as much as possible, and there were so many things that I wanted to learn, both out of personal curiosity and to set myself up for a career. But now that I've started my career, that motivation feels completely different. It's not that I'm not learning anymore or that I'm not working on things that are important to me. I work for a nonprofit research company, which means I'm constantly learning, and I am working on things that I think are actually important. But despite effectively having my dream job, I'd be lying if money wasn't a big factor in why I'm working this job. It might be a lot more interesting to me than a lot of other jobs, but either way, sitting in front of a laptop for 8 hours a day is not my dream life. At the end of the day, I probably wouldn't be working this job if it weren't for the big paychecks that I get every 2 weeks. And that's completely different from college, where I was completely motivated by my own self improvement. So that's made it a lot harder to stay motivated on the job. By the way, I studied computer science and business finance when I was in college, but my current job really only relies on my computer science education. But I'm still extremely glad that I studied business finance in college because it taught me a lot of things about money, which I apply every single day, which I recently published a video about. I think you'll find some of those lessons useful, so definitely check it out. And I'll see you next time.